Please join us in singing the national anthem.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This morning, my wife and I were talking about me speaking, and she said, now remember what Brigham Young said. Stand up, speak up, then shut up and sit down. So I'm going to do that. But first, I'd like to just explain a little bit about why we're here and what we're doing. A few years ago, a couple of community-minded volunteers got together and decided we wanted to do something for the community, which would help the children, which would promote science, technology, engineering, and math amongst the rising generation here. But we also wanted to do something that would help them to gain a vision of the importance of service, service in the community, service within the home, service within the nation. And the best role model that we could figure for that thing would be to honor Gail Halvorsen by building this facility, which will bear his name. Today's event is entitled Building to Inspire, and that's what we plan to do. That's what we're going to do. Our goal is to give the children and youth of this community the opportunity to see farther and to look higher as they make decisions and as they prepare for the opportunities of the future. This building will serve as a community gathering place, a place where we can come together, we can train, we can talk, we can learn, and we can rejoice in the great community that we have. So thank you for coming today. We're grateful for your interest in what we're doing and thankful that you're here joining with us. I hope that you have an enjoyable day. And we'll now hear from Nate Sorensen, who is representing, I always get these two family names goofed up. Nate Halvorsen, who's going to speak a little representing the Halvorsen family. Thank you very much.
It's a thrill to see you all here. It's a huge crowd. We're very excited. I'm overwhelmed by your support. I'm representing my grandpa here, Gail Halvorsen, and man, it's a neat experience to think you all came out to support this dream and vision that he has. It's called the Gail Halvorsen Aviation Education Foundation. And education has always been something that Grandpa has been a big supporter and a pusher for our whole family. When we were little, my earliest memories of my grandpa were here in Spanish Fork, just down Main Street on the other side of the river at his farm. We would haul hay, throw it up on the tractor and on the trailer, and he'd be there rooting us along, and I'd be sweating and not really sure what to do, but he was there pushing us. And then on the horses, he's got horses, and I'm a hopeless cause when it comes to horses, but he's up there giving me a hearty chest pound, saying, "Go get him." And so that's always something that I'll keep dear to me. But another thing that Grandpa has always inspired me to do is to fly. And all those years growing up watching his videos, you have those black and white videos flying over Berlin. Here in my hand, I've got a copy of his solo certificate. This was back in 1941. And the fact that this building that we'll be building, or that they'll be building here in Spanish Fork, is special to me also because this is where I learned to solo as well, in Spanish Fork. And so hope to carry the tradition along. Grandpa's been such an influence in my life, and he's got the drive to change other people's lives. He's always taught us put others before self. Remember the importance of family. Remember the importance of God. And remember the importance of freedom. So I'm so thankful for this group that we've got here. Jim Stewart, Paul Jensen, the vision that they had to continue this tradition that Grandpa's always put before us, and that is giving back. Also thank Angela Davidson for her drive, and she's such a go-getter, and that's exactly what this foundation needs, so we're so thankful to have her as part of this team too. So I'd like to introduce my grandpa now as he comes up.
Well, thank you, Nate. Thank you. Well, thank you. Be seated. It's a special honor to be here at Spanish Fork. Got a 20-acre farm just out west along the river. I spent a lot of time hauling hay out there. But I want to just express my gratitude to all those who made this possible, to make this day possible. One little girl wrote me, she's 7 years old. She says, "I'm not getting any of this stuff. I'll give you a map. Come over here and drop it." Well, I missed her, so I sent her a package. I'll be with her again this June. It's a wonderful experience to be here. I can't imagine. I didn't get an inside toilet until I got in high school. So I really appreciate you and the support that you've given today and those who made this event possible. God bless you all. Thank you much.
He's back. So my name's Angela Davidson, and I am the outreach director for the Candy Bomber Foundation. If you know anything about Gail, he always likes a cold water. And one of my favorite parts of this volunteer job that I have is to hang out with Gail. And I call it Stories from Grandpa Gail. One day I'm going to write a children's book. And so I just wanted to sit down for a minute with Gail and just tell you what we're doing and how you can help us. I love Gail. It is the funnest thing in the whole world to listen to my voicemail when he comes on and says, "Hello, sunshine." And I just can't help but smile. I know all of you love Gail so much, and I know that's why you're here. So, sorry, I'm all teary. We are building an aviation center. That's pretty exciting. Let's cheer. The Aviation Center has 3 purposes. One is it will be what we're calling the Candy Bomber Museum. It will be a place where you can come and learn about Gail and his life of service. Gail is always telling me and everyone the true way to be happy is to serve other people. And we want to tell that story. And we'll teach some history while we're at it too. The second purpose is that it will be the home to the Civil Air Patrol. Where's all my Civil Air Patrol friends? That's it? Come on. We love the Civil Air Patrol. They're a little bit homeless right now, so we'd like to move them in to our building as well. Gail is a member of the Civil Air Patrol, was a member of the Civil Air Patrol when he was younger, and so this is near and dear to his heart. The other thing that the museum will be is it will be a STEM learning center. It will be a place where your whole family, all ages, can come and learn about aviation and about everything that goes along with that. We've had some fun moments testing out flight simulators and talking about what airplanes are going to be on display there, and it will be a hands-on STEM learning center. I have a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old, and they like to push the buttons and they like to get things done, and that's what kind of a learning center it will be. It's the kind of a learning center that when your kids say, I don't want to do my math homework today, you say, fine, we're going to get in the car and go out to the Candy Bomber Museum. And you can come have some STEM learning moments and get in the flight simulators and just kind of maybe help them understand a little bit about why they might want to do their math and why they might want to stay in school. Speaking of school, for those of you who haven't heard, we are really excited that we have a Gail Halvorsen Aviation Scholarship at Utah Valley University. And that scholarship has an endowment right now, and we're hoping to grow that, and we're hoping to help as many students as we can go to flight school who want to. So Gail says that's great. For those of you who haven't hung out with Gail, his favorite thing to do is what? Thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up for the flight scholarship. Yeah.
Good morning. This is an absolutely beautiful place. There's no place on earth I'd rather be right now than right here with you. Spanish Fork is a beautiful, amazing town with such an incredible future. I want to thank Angela Davidson for all of her work in putting this event today and all of her work on behalf of the center. And I look forward to seeing the Gail Halvorsen Aviation Education Center come together. This will be truly a monument to human innovation and to the American spirit. You know, as I sit here and I look at this beautiful Civil Air Patrol aircraft, I think about the fact that it was only a few decades before Gail Halvorsen flew his candy bombing missions that human beings regarded themselves as flightless. People would occasionally achieve flight through gliding, but not like this. We thought that we were grounded perpetually to the earth because of the force of gravity. But as it turned out, there were designs that came about that were able to harness gravity, not just to keep human beings bound by it, but to harness gravity in such a way that gravity could be counteracted by lift. And the combination of thrust and drag and gravity and lift allowed human beings to be free of the earth and allowed them to move. It makes me think of the American people generally. We're great as Americans, not because of who we are, but because of what we do. And aviation freed us to do great things. It's an honor of a lifetime for me to be here today, to be actually flying a mission, a candy bombing mission, with Gail Halvorsen, the Candy Bomber, and I couldn't be more pleased. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your support of the Gail Halvorsen Aviation Education Center, and thank you for your support and love of our country and of the cause of liberty. May God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Senator. One more time for our wonderful Senator Mike Lee. Thank you. And yes, Angela and the foundation, thank you. I'm Representative LeVar Christensen of the Utah House of Representatives, and I must tell you, she mentioned happy tears. I've been flooding in happy tears. The I'm just in awe of the spirit of love and liberty that I see and feel with you here today. This is a moment to be forever cherished, to never be forgotten. I see lots of cameras taking pictures. Look around and take a mental picture also, and may it never, ever be erased from our minds. Walt Disney, of all people, such a great lover of children, but he said that our greatest natural resource is the minds of our children. I love to say that even more beautiful, believe it or not, than Utah's mountains, lakes, valleys, and streams are our children. Thank you. I'm very grateful and pleased to be the founding sponsor and member of Utah's Commission on Civic and Character Education. That's in our Utah statutes. It's existed for 12 years going forward. We enter into public-private partnerships, and we do everything we possibly can with all of our dedicated teachers in our schools throughout Utah. And we actually lead the nation in this regard. It was a national movement, but we've done so much with this commission, and we'll continue to do so, and we'll continue to interact here. But as I would bring children up to the state capitol almost weekly, and they would come up, I was with a large group of students, fifth graders, about 200 and some, and I said to you wonderful young people, how many of you just love science? And many hands went up. And I said, how many of you just love history? And math, and many hands went up. But when I asked how many of you love history, all the hands went up. And I said, what's the difference between history and science and history and math? And this one precious little girl in the back, she wasn't going to wait. She just waved her arms and blurted out. She said, I know, LeVar, I know. History is about real life and real people. And I said, can I quote you forever? That the wisdom and Colonel Halvorsen and Ruth and our other friend, have you noticed that the days pass slowly, but the years pass quickly? Just ask Grandpa and Grandma. 1 minute you're that little girl getting the candy in the field, and here you are today in just a blink of a moment. General George Washington, real life, real people. I told those young people, don't ever turn the page of history and think it's just a story. It was your father, it was your grandfather, it was your mother, it was your life. When you look at the murals in our state capitol, you look up there, I pass by my office every day, one of the murals says 1917. Can you believe that? 101 years ago. But to look up and to see it. But when you think about that, General George Washington at the end of his life, speaking so often of divine providence and the miracles and the blessings of liberty, but he said this at the conclusion of his life, a moment much like a hero like Gail Halvorsen today. He said to the legislature, we the people and their elected representatives, he says, there is no duty more pressing upon you as a legislature than to support a plan for teaching the science of government to the future guardians of the liberties of this country. And so here we are, the world's greatest generation, that incredible moment in time. Patrick Henry standing and testifying of what he spoke of as the holy cause of liberty. And he said, we will not fight alone. 3 million people armed in the holy cause of liberty. The God of nations will raise up friends to help us. And so he did, and so he has. And a grateful nation in 1954, after prevailing and saving the world from the opposite forces, came back to America and added the words under God to the Pledge of Allegiance and adopted In God We Trust as our national motto. In the spirit of that, I think of Winston Churchill as he concluded his multi-volume history of World War II. And his closing line was, he says, and thus were the great democracies of the world free to resume the follies that had so nearly cost them their lives. And we fast forward to today. And here we are in Utah. How many people made up the 13 colonies of what would soon become the United States of America? 3 million. How many people in Utah today? 3.3 million. The spirit of liberty is all around us, and we're about to witness it again and join it. I thank you so very much for the opportunity to be with you. This is a great, great moment. We all love Gail. We all love Gail. What a hero. What an inspiration to us all. Veterans everywhere, thank you, thank you, thank you. We honor you and we love you. And so now, as we look forward to what's coming, you precious young people, let the fun begin. If you'll join with me, Let's count down 10 to 1. We'll go 10, 9, 8. When we get to 1, please all stand and join with me and say, it's candy drop time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's candy drop time.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. Atom boys, give her the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flame from under. Off with one heck of a roar. We'll live in fame or go down in flame. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. Come on, everybody!